What you gonna do with that? You gotta take your girl out. That's another CD. Oh wait, that's 2 CDs because you gotta eat, she gotta eat. So I sold 5 CDs. It's $100,
Sounds like a good night.
but you out of money.
Yeah.
So guess what you gotta do? You gotta go to Pensacola again, or you gotta go to Mobile again, or
Yeah.
any art walk or whatever and stuff. So you have to do that.
The trials and tribulations of a busking. Busking.
I like how you did that.
Welcome to the Gulf Coast. Welcome to the Gulf Coast. Welcome to the Gulf Coast.
Welcome, guys, to another episode on the Gulf Coast Music Podcast. Today's new wave, Sound Barrier Music.
What's up, man?
Where does that name come from?
Oh man, getting right into it.
Yes, sir.
Man, I hope I get this. Right. I don't want to sound ungenuine when I say it, but the name itself came from my band director at first. I went to LaFleur High School. Go Rattlers! Shout out Michael Stanford, my band director, and
And you were in the band in high school?
yeah, all 4 years, and middle school and stuff. Mobile County training in Plateau and stuff. So yeah, 7 years and stuff. And
It's in you, not on you.
yeah, man, it's there, man. 3 years middle school, 4 years high school, 2 years in college and stuff. Farmer State, and I just kept doing it and stuff, and stopped it for a little while. But I'm getting ahead of myself. But the Sound Barrier name comes from Michael Stanford, my band director in high school. We were doing an exercise one time, and we were getting ready to learn a field show. We were learning the music for the field show, whatever. And we were playing. Trumpet section was playing. He said, "Steven, stop playing." And I said, "Okay." Everybody plays. And he asked everybody in the band, he said, "What do you notice about when we played that song when Steven played versus when we played the song just without Steven?" And everybody was like, "Man, there's a huge difference. Like,
Really?
There's a big difference, Not to my own horn, pun intended, but
How many people were in the band?
oh man, you're talking about my freshman year at this time at LaFleur. 300
300. And
300 and something.
and they noticed when you were outside the band.
Right.
How's that possible?
I had a good teacher. I was really afraid, man, like to transition from middle school to high school because and we'll cover all this or whatever. I'm kind of jumping all over the place. But I was really scared to transition from middle school to high school because when you're the big fish in middle school, it's kind of like, okay, that's middle school, Like
Yeah.
And then it wasn't just high school. It was the high school I was going to.
Right.
They're known for their band program. So, of course, your parents want you to go to LaFleur because they're known for their band program is really good. And they were right. At the end of 4 years, they were right. Everything I needed to know for my music career, I learned in high school.
Really?
No shade to my college professors, but everything I needed to know to survive doing this music career, the bulk of it came from Michael Stanford.
Damn, dude, that's so cool that like you invested early in the music career.
And we'll get to the life and times later on down the line or whatever and stuff.
What was that?
We'll get to the life and times, like having given up music and coming back to it and then coming. So
Yeah, man. Sorry, it's great to have you on here, bro.
No, thanks, man. Thank you. It's I stopped playing, and he said, over there, it's like when Steven plays, there's like a barrier of sound, like that he just has with him. I'm in the ninth grade.
That's like Leonard Fournette in ninth grade at St. Aug.
Like it's just what he brought with him. He just knew he was going to be.
Did you hit puberty early or something?
No, man. I kind of took the Michael Jordan attitude into it. I just knew I didn't want to be average. I didn't want to be the trumpet player. I didn't want to be forgotten. I don't want to be somebody who just went to the floor and was just another good
Yeah,
trumpet player. I didn't want to
that's sickening.
So I said, well, I'm gonna play as loud as I can, right or wrong. You know, I'm gonna play as loud as I can. And it just so happened I had the ability. Most of the notes were right. You know, so and that was the ninth grade. Once I learned how to fine tune it over the years, of course, 10th, 11th grade.
Dunking on folks.
Yeah, I'm trying in a matter of speaking, man. In a matter of speaking, you know, I didn't want to be in the background, and that was my attitude.
That's good.
Like, not just with this,
Yeah.
you know, with chess. It was the same way, you know. I didn't want to be forgotten as just another chess player at my school. My dad, masterful chess player.
For real.
Mike, good chess player, you know. And they would battle it out. And I said, I want to get in on this, you know. I want to get in on this, you know. And my dad taught me how to play chess. And
which do you love more, chess or
music?
Yeah,
music. That's you know. And but chess.
Are there any similarities?
Strategy. Oh yeah.
Between chess and music.
Oh yeah. You know, and your opening moves got to be there.
Oh.
You know, your opening moves got to be there. And just like I can now, and so not then, but just like your first note on whatever instrument you play, I know who you are. And that's why when people hear my first note,
damn, boy, I love that analogy.
I know who you are.
I love that
when
analogy.
People hear my first note, they know who I am that day.
Let them cook, man.
That's the whole thing. You know, when I hear people play, I know who you are, not just as a musician, as a person. You can say, well, they may be somebody as a musician and then somebody else as a person. You know, shout out Airport Hippie who just left here or whatever, who I just met again after like 7 years. But
is that a common theme?
Yeah, and stuff. He's like who I am. I'm the same person. I'm the same person. Now I'm not finna get on here in front of the mics and whatever and be like, I'm the sound barrier every day. Of course not. Do I feel like being the sound barrier some days other than most days? No. I just lost my grandfather this past Sunday on Father's Day.
Really
so
sorry.
Thank you. Thank you for the. But that's not a time for the sound barrier. I'm still that person.
Right.
But that's not that avenue right there. That's not time to be him. Let's be Stephen and grieve Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Yeah.
We go. Of course, I had to go back to work Wednesday. Thursday, I'm here. Friday, I'll be at Pensacola tomorrow all day playing. Saturday is the funeral. So I'm going to be Stephen first, and then I'm going to shoot down to the wharf on Saturday because I have a show. So
at the wharf?
At the wharf. Yeah, at the wharf Saturday and stuff. And then Sunday,
first time?
I've been doing music professionally 10 years, 11 years. Yeah, 11 years. And the wharf, this will be my fourth time.
Our first catch of the night. Aliens do exist in Caca del Diablo. If you like live music, the new Gulf Coast Music Listening Room event at Spring Hill College is where you should be on Saturday, July 19th from 8 to 9 p.m. For $10, come enjoy the two bands and make connections with other music lovers. A listening room is a respectful environment for the sole purpose of observing great music, so as of now, no alcohol or any other substances will be permitted. We'll have t-shirts. See you guys there. Yes, sir. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Don't let the dogs out. The City of Mobile Animal Shelter has many loving pets ready for a nice home. Whether you're looking for a dog like Snoop or a cat like Doja, the City of Mobile Animal Shelter is where you can find your next friendly companion. They're located at 855 Owen Street, and you can stop by anytime between 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. We all need a little bow wow in our lives. Call 251-208-2800 because the City of Mobile Animal Shelter has you covered. That's 251-208-2800. Roof.
Green team. Bitch, I'm ballin' like West Lionheart. Rocket in my pocket like West. Bitch, I'm ballin' like Westbrook. Rocket in my pocket like Westbrook. Let my little homie take the shot like Westbrook. Still got them cannons, Jay Russell, not Westbrook. Bitch, I'm ballin' like Westbrook.
full time.
What dictated you doing music professionally?
Short answer, I got paid.
Yeah.
The short answer, I got paid. Long answer, in 2014, shout out Mo's Barbecue, shout out Ashley, because she's the one that fired me. So, and thank you for doing that. Because and shout out Donnell Spanks, my dad's brother, my uncle Donnell. He was the kitchen manager. She was the general manager. And it was just after Mardi Gras. It was March 2014, and she said, "Hey, we don't have any more room for you. We can't. We don't have it in the budget." So I said, "All right, cool." I said, "Uncle, they fired me," and my uncle said, Uncle Donnell, he said, "They had Mo's Barbecue has a little stage in the front with the dining room, big stage in the back." Excuse me. And he said, "The next time I see you at Mo's Barbecue, you better be on one of these stages. Most specifically, you better be on this backstage."
That was his response?
That was my uncle's response. He said, "The
I
next
love a
time
good
I see
uncle
you,
response, man.
you better be on that backstage." Dude, not even, I think it took about 3 years. 3 years later, South Sounds Music Festival was going on, and then the city did South Sounds. It was their response to Bayfest.
Right.
And
What do you mean response to Bayfest?
Bayfest had stopped by that time. I think 2014 was the last year.
Oh, okay.
And so we had kind of stopped doing Bayfest for a while, and the story behind that is wild. I won't go into that because that's not my story to tell. But the story behind that was wild, and so they kind of just Mobile loves music.
Yeah.
Like there's a love there. There's a love there. It's the you kind of you gotta pull it out. But there's a love there for music. They have it, because the musicians are here, And so South Sounds was like their answer to that. And so when they did South Sounds, I ended up getting with this funk band called Multi and Funk. Shout out to Philip Wiggum, bass player, Marquise Johnson, sax player, and his brother Markel Johnson. My name's Steven Johnson. We're the brothers Johnson when it comes down to horns and stuff. So. We tear it up, and I ended up hitting with them.
Yeah.
That festival, I hit with them, and I hit with somebody else. Jonesy, shout out Boss Lady. I call her Boss Lady. I don't care where she's in California doing her thing on the casino circuit now. But shout out Jonesy, and Giazzi was on keys. He's another artist you need to get with. Giazzi. I'm True.
I've heard the name Giazzi.
Giazzi, he's in Texas now and stuff. But Giazzi was on keys. Jonesy was the trombone player and band leader. And Brandon, his name's I'm True. He's a backup singer and DJ and everything else.
Yeah.
Drummer was a guy named Paul, and I was on trumpet. And a guy named
That's a deep band.
yeah, man. I think it was at that time it was 7 of us. It's a 6-piece now, but when she comes back to Mobile, but
Is it tougher getting events as a 7-person band?
now, it's getting back, but now it's been kind of tough for bands or whatever and stuff like that. But
Tough for bands.
Tough for bands
In general. Why?
I mean, money. I mean, I don't care how much you like us. Your pocketbook has to like us. And the thing is,
But I mean, if bands aren't getting venues, then they would lower their prices, right?
I mean, Alabama Power doesn't. Mobile area water sewer system doesn't lower their prices.
True.
And I'm not just naming that because they're in demand. The Spire Energy doesn't lower their prices. Your rent man don't lower his prices.
Right, but your rent man would lower his prices if you've got other sources for rent.
The reason I say that, and now we're starting to get into that vein where we're going down my life now. The reason I say that is because I never hear people say, to lawyers, doctors, teachers, people who work as landlords. I never hear anybody tell landlords or professionals or electricians, you should probably lower your prices.
I told my landlord.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, I get, I probably, but I was like, they never tell them you should probably go into a different field because you don't, but you saw it. And again, it's like ebbs and flows, with the city. You saw it during the pandemic, everybody was out of work. And what was the first thing that people said, what we started doing was we started going out for free and playing. And the first thing people said was, "Oh my God, I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad you're back. I'm so glad the city is back. Why is the city back? Well, your electrician never. Your electrician's still doing the job. Your rent man still. Some areas they didn't, but your rent man still want his money.
Yeah.
Why you ain't saying the city back because the rent man back or the electrician back,
Right.
or your lawyer still taking cases.
Yeah.
But the city's back because music's back. Music's back because music brings people together. It brings people out. When people Wayne Shorter said that every note is a person. Go up and shake their hand.
Right.
So when I play music, subconsciously and consciously, I'm at work. I have a job to do. And you, whether you know it or not, you need me to do my job correctly. Because if you come downtown, I've heard people say it. I don't, this is not me. I've heard people say, man, I'm so glad you're out here. And you could have people say nothing to you for months.
Yeah.
And then they come downtown, or they're at, I'll use me as an example. I won't talk about nobody else. I'll be at Ruby Slipper.
Tomorrow night.
Be at Ruby Slipper, Friday. That's Friday tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
Tomorrow morning and stuff. And then I'll be at Restaurant Iron in Pisco tomorrow night.
Gotcha.
And so, I come and they'll eat, and they're like, man, I feel like I'm in New Orleans. Why? Well, why do you want to feel like you're in New Orleans if my job doesn't matter?
Checkmate.
What is it?
Checkmate.
So it's every time it's an opening move, every time, and people think that they just but I've heard that many times. They'll say, well, I mean, my parents are way more supportive now. They're super supportive now. But back then it was kind of like you're an airport hippie. We're talking about serving, and dude, that job sucks. I don't care who you are. I don't care. You can do it well. I know some good. My dad was one. It's good service. My dad would come home, and I said, man, I'm not doing that. And I ended up doing it, and doing it well. I was a good server. I was a good host, good dishwasher. I was a better dishwasher than I was a host or a server, but it was still the same idea. Before I left home, I was serving you. Before I left home, I was washing your dishes. Before I left home, I was a host. So now I take the same approach to my music. Before I leave home, let's get this set list right.
Yeah.
Even if it's just me, which most of my gigs now, I'm on tour now and stuff. My
Visualize
Another World tour and stuff. I'm getting my set list right. Most of my gigs are solo. I play with bands. I play with the Tip Tops. I play with Aquila and the Beat. Shout out Aquila. She's got the state of Mississippi on lock. She's awesome.
What is that feeling like?
What?
When that wherever you're going, you feel like you've got it on lock.
Checkmate. No, I'm kidding.
That's a good answer.
No, I mean.
Well, getting an event at the Wharf.
And more so now in my career, than before.
Sure.
Before, it was, first band ever picked me up was Jukebox Brass Band. Bunch of old guys. Yeah. Older guys. They ain't old, but older guys.
Did you have to audition for them?
Yeah, in a sense.
Yeah.
I nervous? Not really. Not really, because I knew how good I was at this. That's the thing. This is never the issue. My dad tells me it's never the talent. It's always the person. So the issues that I dealt with in music had nothing to do with music. It had everything to do with finagling the music world. Politics, music relationships, business relationships, transportation. I got a car now, but but do you ever try doing a tour? You got to rely on somebody else. Rely on everybody else to, you got
dependence is the
12
biggest
cities to hit, and you miss 2 cities because somebody can't grab you, or you call somebody too late and they're already gone. But you're a grown man, and that's stuff that you got to handle. So I'm not making excuses. It's just that stuff you got to handle on your own. So
dependence is the biggest killer of dreams.
I remember, I think it was my mom or whatever and stuff. She was like, she said, you need a vehicle. And I said, no, I need good friends. I mean, dude, like, I mean, if if you do this for a living, and I know you do this for a living,
Right.
and we go in the same place again, this is just life and times of the Soundberry, Just I'm glad we're doing this because people get to see behind the tour post. If I do music and you do music, and we go into the same place, I mean, hey brother, you all right? Yeah, I'm good, brother, and stuff. Hey man, you got to wait there? Something I would do.
Right. For sure.
You're not obligated, but it's something I would do. You know what I mean? And stuff. Where you at? Oh, well, I'm at home or whatever. You got to wait there? I'll catch you there. Okay, cool. At least you checked in on me because we're coworkers.
Yeah.
I just saw an Instagram reel before I came in here. This guy was talking about new artists and how about they need to set the mood before they record music and all that kind of stuff. And he was like, "Oh, you forgot you at work." I used to be like, well, it's I followed the Walt Disney model. Walt Disney said if you find something you love, you'll never work a day in your life. Okay. And then OGs would tell me, son, you at work. I thank God that I was early on in my career that I was around a lot of older guys like Jukebox,
Right.
old guys. When I was 22, I started doing music when I was 20. I'm 32 now, so I started when I was 22.
That's funny to hear how the music scene has developed like that. The old guys, like, oh, back in my day type motto.
Right.
Yeah.
Being around those guys. And then that was my first
Like,
thing.
you guys are soft, It's cool to hear that in a arts thing.
Right.
Right.
And we'll get into that.
I feel like I'm getting sold to cars.
Oh
All right.
man, you like I say, you got a good thing going. I'm not gonna be too long or whatever.
No. I was just saying, like anytime I bring up like an aspect, it's like, and wait, there's more.
Right. It's a whole thing.
Keep it. Looking to transform your property into something remarkable? Land Refiners is your trusted, locally owned land services company based right here in Baldwin County, Alabama. Whether it's forestry, mulching, land clearing, tree and debris removal, demolition, grading, or even emergency services, Land Refiners has you covered. They work on both residential and commercial properties, bringing efficiency, professionalism, and results that last. Their team is licensed, insured, and proudly serves Baldwin County, Mobile County, and surrounding areas. At Land Refiners, they don't just move dirt, they build lasting relationships by exceeding expectations every time. Call today or visit landrefiners.com to schedule your free consultation. Land Refiners, local, reliable, refined.
Euphoric. Let's change the subject. I can talk about your looks for days.
Take it off your mind. I could do this all the time. I could lay it on the line, and I could drop it on the dime. Let's go.
For 7 years, I've been shedding tattoo tears. Sideliners, urban game on the pop list.
Yeah, blessing on all of my haters, that's just what it is. Yeah, to live.
Coming.
And being around those guys and having them teach me, what not to do and do in this business. My second band after them was with Brothers of Brass. Shout out Brothers of Brass, Khalil Simon, my homeboy that I grew up with. Because I dealt with Jukebox, or not dealt with, because I came up under Jukebox. I could deal with everything that happened when I was living in Denver.
Yeah.
They're around the same age as me. So now I know, because I've been around older guys, I can finagle these relationships. I know my way through. When I came back to Mobile and playing with Alvin King in the Fifth Connection, older guy, plays trumpet, plays jazz. So then I hit with Alvin King in the Fifth Connection. I would, every Thursday night, because we used to have jazz. And I knew I wanted to be a smooth jazz musician in high school. My sophomore year, Dave Coz and Brian Culberson and Althea Renee, who I just met, Althea Renee, Reagan Whiteside. These are cats that are still doing jazz.
But man, to be that involved with jazz in high school, surely you were kind of felt outcasted, right?
Again, it goes back to my attitude while I was in high school. I was, but it was kind of like I had my tribe. Everybody in band knew, okay, you're gonna do music.
Yeah.
You're gonna do music. Like, and I was like, I'm not gonna do music professionally. And so I'm not doing music professionally, because in my neighborhood, I grew up in Somerville. I stay out DIP now, but in my neighborhood, the only famous cats from where I was from was Kazula, who was the last slave to come here on the slave ship Clotilda, and Rich Boy. I mean, shout out Rich Boy, but I mean, shout out Rich Boy, but like those were rappers, that. But I'm like, Kazula was a slave and Rich Boy was a rapper, so how am I? Those cats don't do jazz,
right?
Nothing against them, but I mean, like,
throw some D majors,
there you go, I mean, like, it wasn't until I got older, around older cats,
right,
that were like. And shout out to Jose London. I call him DL. His name is Dr. London. And shout out to him because him picking me up, off the street. And when I came back from Denver, I tried to play on the street, whatever. But, him in the jazz studio. And the jazz studio was before I started doing music professionally. I was playing in the jazz studio, which is based here in Spring Hill. Yeah. They take the next generation of jazz, mold them, introduce them to like straight ahead jazz, like Cannonball Adderley, Thelonious Monk. All that, and him introducing me to that world, like Cootie Williams, who's from Mobile, did jazz, Jabo Starks, drummer for James Brown, did funk and jazz.
Man, how do you because like I feel like it takes a different type of mind to see James Brown and be like, man, who's that in the background? You know what I mean?
Okay, I get what you're saying.
Because like to a lot of people, jazz is currently like an underlying genre in the big scheme of things, with like rap being at the forefront.
Right.
But then like I feel like if you're watching like a Gunna will do like a Tiny Desk type thing where he'll have like a band play one of his songs live. You're watching that and you're like, man, I really like what the background guy has going on.
You're right. Yeah, I mean, like for lack of a
90% of the population seeing it like, wow, Gunna's so talented,
right?
But
right.
like, but and it's like a subculture.
Well, they're doing what they're doing what you're doing. You feel me? Like if you're in that music world, you know that they're doing. I saw a Tiny Desk. Shout out to the Real Free. That's his name on Instagram. His name's Daryl Freeman, bass player. I saw him on 3 different Tiny Desks. I texted him too. I was like, "Hey man," I said,
so it's like a subculture.
I said, "Bro, I just seen you."
Yeah.
I said, "Man, you play bass for everybody, don't
you? Ain't slick.
Yeah, like I said, I just seen you.
Yeah.
Play for or Janet Jackson. I just seen you play for
right.
Somebody else.
Congrats, but
yeah, you know, like for real, And I saw what's his name? And I'm name dropping again. This is not
right
to say who I am, but these are cats that I follow. I mean, Life of Chuck.
Right.
That just got shot in Mobile. Life of Chuck, that movie that just shot in Mobile. Pocket Queen. That's the only reason I went to see that movie. Shout out Pocket Queen. I sampled her in a song that I have out, and so it's not out yet, but it's on one of my albums. But Pocket Queen, I only went there to see. They was like, oh, well, Tom Hiddleston is in it. The guy that played Loki. He was like, they're like, Chiwetel Ejiofor is in it. The guy was in one of the hospital dramas. And I said, no, I'm only there to see Pocket Queen. And I saw it at the Crescent Theater in Mobile. I'm so glad they opened the Crescent Theater back up. I went to see it. And when her scene came up, the scene that they shot at OR, I'm not giving the movie away, but just go watch it. The scene they shot at OR, I took a video and I texted her. I said, hey, man, great job. But if you're in that world.
And that's what I'm saying. It's like you kind of know you're meant for this type of craft when like, being in that world is appealing. If that makes sense.
Or you start running into the same cats. A Pocket Queen.
Right.
Shout out Pocket Queen. And
because like some people are so like caught up in the limelight of like joining the band in high school as opposed to the football team, where it's like everybody's focused on the football team and the band, if you know somebody, you're going to be locked in. Correct me if I'm wrong.
It's like, if you're a football player.
Right.
I mean, and of course it's limelighted because football is entertainment, but it's like being the second string lineman.
Right.
And knowing who the second string kicker is.
Right, right. Or like
And
second string line, or just being a lineman and like knowing the big time linemen in the NFL.
right,
Yeah.
right, or not just the, yes,
And
yeah.
like,
That's the perfect one.
and
Knowing the
like,
lineman.
wow, you saw what, whatever the, like what Trent Williams is a
Yeah.
big like left tackle. Man, you saw how he moved his feet on that play, and your uncle's like, yeah, they scored a touchdown on that play. You know, like you didn't see the touchdown, and you're
Right.
like, nah, Trent
Right, but
Williams.
did you see his
He's the
footwork?
reason that they scored a touchdown.
Right.
Right.
That's exactly what it's like.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I again, airport hippie using an example.
Right.
And stuff, you seeing him, but if you don't know that,
Right.
if you're not in tune, that's why touring is important. And I'm on record saying I'm not big on touring. I'm not big on like everything that has to do with touring. I know you have to do it, but like the logistics and everything like that, I'd hire a tour manager in a second because I know me. I'm glad that I'm on this list level, and I don't have to worry about me when it comes down to touring. But touring is awful. The having to keep track of your merch and keep track of finances and the hotel rooms and moving from place to place and all that kind of stuff.
You have a manager for that?
Nope.
No.
Nope.
Well, how do you do it then?
Getting into another life aspect. So take this tour for instance, Another World Tour. The Another World Tour started when I released my Caribbean Afrobeat album, Another World. Well, I bought the beats for that album. It was first of all, it was something different than the jazz that I normally play, but it still had the elements. So I bought the beats for that album. Some beats I made. Shout out to Jay Flame, the producer, who's my main producer. I've known him since high school. After I released that album, I was like, okay, then cool. Let's see how it does or whatever. Well, I released it. It didn't do well the first week. And I was like, in fact, it didn't do well that year. Then one day, like, I look on Spotify and it has like 5,000 streams. 5,888. And I'm just like, so I look at the cities that are listening to it, and I'm like, man, okay. And the one city I wanted to listen to it didn't even listen to it. And I was like, okay, so cool. So now when we set up the tour, the first thing I'm thinking of is what cities can I get to? Because I don't have a car. So it's just like, okay, like a regular week for me, a regular month for me. Like if my tour started on Sunday,
Yeah.
every Sunday I'm at the Ruby Slipper downtown because that's brunch. So like, get the brunch crowd.
Yeah.
I'm off on Mondays. Every Tuesday night I have church in Foley. Shout out to my pastor, Alicia Odom, and her husband, Charles Odom, who's the keyboard player.
On Tuesday night?
So every Tuesday night in Foley. United Pentecostal Holiness Church. I play keys. Her husband used to play keys. He plays bass now and stuff. And her son is the drummer, Greg Odom.
Well, sorry, what type of denomination has church
Pentecostal.
on Tuesday? Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And
Sorry.
So, I know what you mean. Yeah. And stuff. But, so that's every Tuesday. So I'm off every Monday and Tuesday. Every Wednesday I'm at Dumbwaiter downtown.
Yeah.
It used to be every Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. But now, with this tour, it's every Wednesday at Dumbwaiter. The city pays musicians to play on the street now. So 2 Thursdays out of the month, I'm playing wherever they put me. So that's part of the tour.
How'd you get booked with that? Because I wasn't familiar with that.
Man, I don't know the entire story behind that, but I remember.
I gotta find out who's behind that.
There's a story. I remember. What finally got me into it was shout out to Deedon Dials. Deedon Dials, the dead man on Instagram. This dude's a great guitar player. So he does like blues, awesome guitar player. And Deedon was like, man, he said, a lot of people had said it. A lot of people were like, man, the city it's legit. People are paying people to play on the street, which was an idea that I pitched, but they didn't take it, so it's whatever. So, but he said, you need to get on it for real. And Deedon finally came to me. He texted me in Messenger.
Right.
He said, man, you need to get with this. Like, the city is paying musicians to play on the street, man. Like, get with them. You got to fill out a W-9. And he was like, he said, man, like I mentioned, he said, dude, like I was in the room. He said, your name is in so many rooms. Like you don't know that people are talking about you. And
That's a
like
good feeling.
when it comes down to programs and music and stuff like that, he said, man, they knew your name before I mentioned it type shit.
Type shit.
That's the name of the song I wrote. That was the name of the song I wrote. And I said,
Why?
because it legit embodied. Like I heard it when I said, dude, like I said, and he texted it to me and I asked him to send it to me in a voice note. I said, dude, I hear everything you're saying. I do. But I said, what I need you to do is send me this. I need you to send me a voice note of you saying this. Because I just came up with a song just then. You know?
Wait, so the song's called Type Shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's because
he said, man, they knew your name before I mentioned it type shit. And people that were talking about me already wanting to do the sidewalk sessions.
And what genre is the song in?
It's like progressive jazz. So it's got the jazz feel.
I think it's the only jazz song called Type Shit.
Dude, I've got it. It's not out, but I've got it. I sell it. You know, it's like an EP and stuff. So I sell it for $20 or whatever and stuff. So that it's direct consumer. So if you want it,
Are you selling CDs?
yeah, yeah, $20. I still sell CDs. I still sell CDs.
Were you familiar with Type Shit before you said it? Like the terminology?
Not like that. No.
Dude, yeah, like somehow it's become like you could say it in any crowd at any time, like no matter the circumstance, and it always hits.
It's like
I sound so I sound so stupid saying that.
It's like I mean don't, but it's kind of like any it's like that. It's like what's the other word? Diabolical. Egregious. It's like they've taken all that and kind of just like the generation after me has taken that kind of just. So I said, well, shoot, if I'm gonna do something like that, because I never was that type of cat. I'm like, if I'm gonna do something like that, I'm gonna do it my way. So I came up with this beat in my head. That knew your name before I mentioned it type shit. I told Dean, I said, dude, I'm gonna sample you. And I said, I'm gonna write it. And that's why I came up with that. Because I was like, dude, if I'm playing a trumpet solo on all of it. You know, I was like, man, I said, I'm gonna sample you and I'm gonna come up with that. I filled out the information, sidewalk sessions, the city hit me back. He heard it. And he was like, dude, he said, dude, this song is dope. So I filled it out and I didn't put it out, but I sent it to him and he contacted the city. And the city got back to me and was like, normally you got to fill out like, you know, I filled out my W-9 and all my stuff like that or whatever. But they said, man, what days are you free? I said, what days you got? You know, and they said, well, we're going to start putting you on Thursdays. And stuff. And I remember the very first one they hired me for was a Friday. I'll never forget. Some tornadic weather came through. It was the last Friday in December. Like after Christmas. And the one time they hired me, it rained.
Oh, wow. So they haven't done it again?
Yeah, they have. And stuff since that time, yeah. I played like 3 of them. And stuff, but it rained, the first one. And I was like, well, there's, you know. And they paid me anyway. Wow. Because in the contract that I have read, you know, but in the contract, it said if you don't play, well, you have to check.
Oh, okay.
I was like, oh, so this is legit,
right? Type
shit. You know, I was like, okay,
type shit for sure, man. That's like, sweet, bro.
You know, so but to answer your question, no, I don't have a manager. I just kind of to Airport Hippie's point, which I didn't agree with when he was saying it, but I was like, well, yeah, you kind of do your career like that too. It's a lot of getting that speaker, getting that table, playing in front of restaurants or whatever. It's like they expect me now. Like in Pensacola, Friday tomorrow, when I play at Ruby Slipper tomorrow morning, they're gonna be like, "Oh my God, he's back! Oh, thank you so much." Yeah. And then when Restaurant Iron sees me that night, it's a gallery night, so it's gonna be a ton of people out there. It's every third Friday they do it.
Every third Friday.
Every third Friday. It's called Gallery Night. It's like their art walk.
And it's
Pensacola.
In Pensacola. Yeah.
Every first Friday is Fairhope. They do first Friday. Every second Friday art walk is Mobile. Every third Friday is Pensacola. Every fourth Friday is Foley. OWA holds fourth Friday. They hold a fourth Friday festival.
So it's like, so Art Walk is like them transporting, like a group of collective artists transport their art to different cities, like each Friday.
I do. I do. But in each of those cities,
The artists
those
come.
artists are highlighted. People opened up later.
But yeah.
It highlights it highlights the artist basically.
But you're somehow from all four of those cities.
Right. Oh, dude. I mean, at one point when I was playing Dixieland music, which I still do every Saturday morning at Bob's Downtown Diner with the Dolphin Street Stompers, we're on Facebook. Every Saturday morning, at one point, it was just me and Doc, who's like a 79-year-old banjo player who's really, again, being around old cats and stuff. That's my band. A 61-year-old neurosurgeon who plays trombone.
What?
Excuse me, a 79-year-old
That's
banjo
the
player.
life, man.
And our tuba player. She's from Pascagoula. They're all older than me. I'm the youngest one there at 32, and I manage that band. And Doc constantly is giving me pointers about, you need to do this. If you're gonna do this, you need to do this. At one point, it was just me and him making those rounds. Every first Friday we in Fairhope. Every second Friday we in Mobile. Every third Friday we in Pensacola. Every fourth Friday we trying to make our way down to OWA.
Yeah.
So and I was doing that because I wasn't getting any work. I was a smooth jazz trumpet playing young black dude who was trying to make his way playing smooth jazz. And I would go to any, and I needed to be where the most people were at that time.
Yeah.
I went to Ocean Springs one time and still did that, man. Ocean Springs loves music. Mississippi loves music. They treated me so well. And dude, like you do it well enough. You'll come back like it's a show, like it's a gig. You'll come back with enough money, pay rent. You do it right. And I just so happen. I thank God that I happen to have a clientele.
You're talking about from one show, come back with
Right.
enough money to
You
pay rent?
come from one busk, you'll go there, play in Pensacola, and you'll come back with enough money. So.
When you said busk, is that busking?
Yeah.
Yeah,
man.
I had somebody on earlier that mentioned that and elaborated on like some stories from busking. Too many.
It's not for the weak. It's not. It ain't for the strong, really.
How much money are you going out like with on your busking tour?
I mean, I'll be candid because I know cats that do it. I'll be candid. If you do it right, I'm averaging now. I'm averaging $500 a week doing music. I'm averaging that. Some weeks are lean. The reason I say average because I haven't made over that in a while. You know, that's not busking. That's the week. That's busking and gigs. Busking, the best I can hope to come out with in Mobile when I play like 2 nights a week is like $125, $100.
Right. Explain what busking is, because another guy explained it as like you use whatever money you get from one venue to get you to the next one, and you try to just go as far as you can.
That's if you're doing some extreme touring. Like that's if you're doing it like that.
Yeah.
For me, which I was doing it like that for a minute. For me, it's now that I have transportation, and stuff, and a support system.
Yeah.
So because my dad's retired. He gets checks. My mom and brother work and stuff like that, but they work for a daycare. And so now I have like a support system, and I'm getting work, and I'm with a band that travels or whatever and stuff. Before, man, like you play Wednesday, I'd play on the street 5 days and maybe make $200. That's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I used to play Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. I wouldn't play on Sundays unless it was like an indoor gig. So you're talking about 5 days, 50, 100, 150, 200, 250. Best I can get out of Mobile on a good night is $50. If anything over $50 in Mobile and you play on the street, ass. Ass. And then I use that to pay bills.
Yeah.
That's bill money. Now, if you're trying to get somewhere, like, okay, case in point, if I didn't have a car, it would cost me $100 to get to Pensacola.
Yeah.
But it's Pensacola. I mean, you're gonna make more than that. That's what you're banking on.
Yeah.
You're gonna leave with more than $100, especially on a night like that. I'm not going to Pensacola every week.
Yeah.
That's not an every week city, even though it's only like 50 minutes away. But it costs $100 to get to Pensacola. So if it costs you $100 to get down there, and it costs $100 to get back, you better hope you make more than $100.
Right.
Or you're gonna be stuck down there like I was twice.
Yeah.
I've been stranded in Mobile. I don't have a way. My folks are at church, and I don't have a way to get home.
Right.
I've been stranded in Fairhope till 3 a.m. Having to call my folks. And stuff. When you stranded, you're stranded. Like it's like the playoffs. You're in the playoffs. When you lose, that's it. Not the NBA playoffs where you got to lose 4 times. No, it's when you get in the playoffs.
Yeah.
That's what busking is. You out there. You got to make the money. Which means that people have to like what you're putting down, which means you have to practice. So when I'm at home, it's tongue exercises, long tones. Or if I'm putting out new music, it's making beats there. It's making my set list there. It's learning new songs on my set list so that when I get out there, people are like, oh man, you sound good. Let me give you $50. Oh man, you sound good. The onus is on you. That's why I was a big fan of the BCS. I was a big fan of the BCS era in college football. Top 2 teams. I like the college football playoff 4 teams. Okay, 4, I get it. But this new playoff system they got 12 teams.
It's for the week.
I mean, even though my team got in, I'm a Tennessee fan. Go Vols. But my team got in. We were like 6th. I was like, why are we? What are we doing? You got 12 teams. I know what it is. It's cash. But I'm like, I don't need the top 12 college football programs going at it. We know who they are. That's what the college football playoff was for.
Right.
To me, that's what busking is. If you're out there, the onus is on you. This is your season.
Right.
And, that's what I tell people, there's no me without y'all. There are last I checked the census, there are 182,000 people that live in Mobile. I only need 100 of them to give me $1 every day. I only need 100, not 182,000. That'd be great. I'd make 6 figures, but 182,000 people live in Mobile.
Wow.
And I only need 100 of them to give me $1 every day. 100 different people. And this thing rolls. Or $50. $50 a day.
Right.
This rolls. But nothing less than 50. Not no 30, not no $25.
Right. But every day is the playoffs.
Every day is the playoffs.
Fuck, man. So how do you stay sane?
Practice.
Yeah.
Practice. I played football too when I was in middle school. I always would wonder, I'll be out there, the sun will be so hot, and I'm like to myself, does any of this really matter? Does any of if I don't make that tackle, or if I run around, the only thing I'm doing is getting exasperated.
Yeah.
What I found out years later, not even during that season, because when you're 14, the only thing you worried about is the candy lady, or women. That's the only thing you worried about getting out of school, Years later, I found out that everything in football serves a purpose. Everything that you do to prepare for a game serves a purpose. If I was offense first and now they switched me to defense because I had fast fingers, or whatever. They put me on defense, and I was like, why they put me on defense? They knew that I wasn't gonna hit nobody. They figured that out earlier. But every time running backs ran to my side, I was really good at hitting the ball out their hands.
Really?
Fumbles.
Fast fingers. The fastest in the world.
Well, this dude's got my coach, shout out Coach Anton and Coach Cox and at Mobile County. They knew I had fast fingers. Okay, let him run up and I'm like, well, if you're now, see, I'm the coach of my life. You have to know who in your life has fast fingers. What songs or what do you do? What can you do to maximize your profit? It costs money to make CDs. Well, Doc would always tell me. He said, "You may not be able to afford to, but you can't afford not to." So you make the CDs. It's going to cost you, but if I sell 5 CDs, that's $100. That's $20 a CD. Like, okay,
how much would it cost to make each one of those?
Okay, so I get mine made at CVS. So like 5 inserts, because I buy like the little Maxell CDs or whatever. They come with the stuff on the back that you can write on. I write my own credits. I save money doing that. So I mean, 5 inserts cost me $1.50. A five pack of CDs is $6, so that's $7.50.
Yeah.
And then you gotta, yeah. I mean, if I buy stickers to put them on, that's another dollar. Like buy decals, price decals or whatever. So that's $8, and so to make one CD cost me $8.
Yeah.
You sell them for 20, so I make that back after the first CD. First CD is like $12, and then the rest you're making a profit. So if you take that, gas, the car I got now takes $21 to fill up, so that's one CD. If you eat, you can't do anything for less than $20 now. It's wild. It's wild. I mean, like anything, a good meal, $20. Like if you're downtown,
Yeah.
and I don't care what people say about, like all the other fast food restaurants. I won't name any fast food restaurants because like airport he said they gotta cut me a check, but I'm not naming any fast food restaurants. But like if you go to any fast food restaurant, like dude, like a good, the 2 for $6 and 2 for $7 and 2 for $8 and 9 for $10 and 11 for $9. I don't care nothing about that or whatever, bro. If you want like a good meal, it's gonna cost you about $14 or $15.
Yeah.
That's one CD. So that's 2 CDs already. So I've eaten and I put gas in my car. And then the other CD, so that's another $20 that you're using for merch. So I got $40 though. What you gonna do with that? You gotta take your girl out. That's another CD. Oh wait, that's 2 CDs because you gotta eat and she gotta eat. So I sold 5 CDs. It's $100.
Sounds like a good night.
But you out of money.
Yeah.
So guess what you got to do? You got to go to Pensacola again, or you got to go to Mobile again, or any art walk or whatever and stuff. So you have to do that.
The trials and tribulations of a busking.
I like how you did that. Sorry, I like how you did that. So I hope I answered your question as far as like my tour manager and all that kind of stuff. But that's what it is. I mean, that's what you're doing. And I love Mobile, and I love that it's a musician friendly city.
Right.
And I love what you're doing. I love what the city's doing now. I mean, that only helps.
Thank you.
That only helps, and stuff, So, I hope when people see this, they see the man behind the curtain.
Super blessed to have you on, man.
Thanks,
Not only are you our first trumpeter, is that a good terminology?
Trumpeter, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. But to have the experience of of a stereotypical hustling musician.
And still doing it.
And you're right. I mean, to be successful, like in something that you love so much that you know is going to be a fight each day, a playoffs every day is a great way to put it. I mean, it must get stressful.
I don't mean to stare off into the distance like that, but it's like I refer to my mom. My mom is a big inspiration when it comes down to this. To talk about them for a minute, my dad is more so concerned about who I am as a man. And he's in the church like now or whatever.
Yeah.
So he's in the church now. It was an interesting relationship between him and God for a minute. He's in the church now. He's more concerned about who I am as a man. But my mom has always been concerned about like my relationship with God, And I remember she asked me one day, she was like, in fact, my brother said it one time, man, he leaves such an impression on people, yet he's still playing on the street. And my mom was concerned about that too, like, well, he's out there and I pray for him and all that kind of stuff. And I said, Mom, I have an intense love for what I do. I have an intense love for what it is that I do. Dude, I was finding out my grandfather passed.
Yeah.
And then knowing on your schedule, you got a 6 to 9 on Wednesday, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Dude, I was so glad. Like, cause
It was able to take your mind off of it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I drove down there, set up, played from 6 to 9, cried a little bit, got back in the car, went back home. I mean, I have a love for what I do. That love for what I do keeps me going. The day of his funeral, this Saturday, I'm gonna play, say some kind words. I gotta show at the wharf. Because that's my granddad. My granddad was keys player too. That's my granddad would want.
Yeah, man.
Don't be commiserating over me.
Yeah.
All the time. Whatever. You're at work. It goes back to that reel I saw on Instagram. You're at work. This is what you do, and you're one of the few who are blessed to be doing this for a living.
Yeah.
You're at work. I have a love for what I do. So when I go out there and weeks where I don't have no gigs, I still put it on Facebook. Hey man, Wednesday, 6 to 9, dumbwaiter. Thursday, 6 to 9, I'm gonna be outside Chuck's Fish. Or I'm gonna be on the corner of Royal and Government. Or I'm naming spots that I actually have played. Royal and Government. I'm gonna be at
What's your favorite spot?
favorite spot to play in Mobile. Oh man. When I say spot, I don't want to say a spot that's attached to something. But my favorite spot I bust at in Mobile so far, Royal and Government. The corner of Royal and Government. Right there next to Veets. Veets across the street from the Renaissance.
Yeah.
That corner right there. That's a cool corner. Gotcha. That's a dope corner. I like that spot because you got people coming out the hotel.
Yeah.
Who are not from here. They don't know nothing or whatever. So they only see you on the corner. Right next to Veets, which has music like all the time.
Yeah.
It's right next to the museum. So you got people coming out of there. This is between 5 and 9. So like 5 p.m., 9 p.m. Those are like the prime spots. Like 6, 9, 5, 9.
Yeah.
That's a cool corner. Rolling Government, and then you got the Mardi Gras Park right there. That's my favorite spot, and I've only played that spot one time. That's my favorite. That's my favorite spot. Rolling Government.
What the hell are you doing not playing there?
I don't know. I like that spot. I mean, like how I had it set up. I mean, like speaker, table was on the speaker. Table, speaker. I had a bucket on this side. I had my PayPal, Venmo, all my QR codes taped right there. Dude, that's a cool corner.
Raked it in there.
And I've only played one. Oh yeah, did really good at that spot. That's a cool spot.
I mean, what are we doing not playing there more often? Seriously.
Because we're creatures of habit. I mean, like during the week at Dumbwaiter, shout out to Wes. Wes is the owner there. I love Wes. Wes is cool. When you got people coming in and out of a restaurant, I mean, naturally, if they're coming in and out of a restaurant, they're gonna have money. They got to have money going in, money coming out. They give you some of that. Maximum occupancy at that restaurant is 99 people. If everybody there gives me $1, I just made $99.
Okay, true. But coming out of a hotel, I mean, you got money,
right?
Yeah,
something to think about. Yeah, very much so. I might play there next Thursday. I might do that next Thursday.
I'll see you there. My last question is, when you say that your dad wants to see you become a good man. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but that's
my dad is more so concerned about me as the man. Mom is concerned about the relationship with Christ and stuff, and that's a good those two yin and yang. That's a good to have and stuff like that.
But can you elaborate on some traits that resemble a man in your dad's eyes?
Work ethic. Not traits, trait.
Yeah.
Work ethic. Work ethic.
Yeah.
That's his big thing. My dad has been through a lot. Like his dad. Did through a lot. It was different times. One thing that did not change and one thing he had to develop was work ethic. How do you feel about what it is that you do? Work ethic. Work, the job,
right,
the career, the discipline, ethic. How you feel about doing it?
Right.
Where's your mind at? Who you doing this for? Why you doing this? Do you see yourself doing this for a long time? If so, why? If the reason changed for what you were doing, are you still gonna do it? Attitude. Work ethic. That's his big thing. My dad does not let up. Doesn't. If you don't get nothing else from this interview, just know my dad, he don't give up. You can forget all the music stuff. Just know my dad, he don't give up.
What's his job?
Messed up. My dad's retired now, but he was a chef.
Chef. And
Kitchen,
what,
anything in the restaurant he did. Kitchen manager, bar manager, but he was mostly chef.
in what ways did he exemplify work ethic as a chef?
Showing up on time, doing his job, and clocking out.
Yeah.
showing up on time,
Consistency.
doing his
Yeah.
That's you sound like him. I'm be like, he does not let up. Did not let up. You know, constantly giving me nuggets of
Dino nuggets.
yeah, you know, constantly giving me nuggets of manhood every day, even if it's the same nuggets.
Yeah.
I just told my brother this. My brother's
cool,
Shelby
man.
and stuff. He my dad reminded him of something or whatever. And he was like, Shelby, make sure you do, you know, because Shelby's autistic, so you have to remind him sometimes or whatever and stuff. So Shelby, make sure you do da-da-da-da. Shelby said, I know. You know, he just turned 18, so you know how teenagers are. I know. I said, well, you obviously don't know. That's why he reminded you.
Yeah.
Like, you know, so, and I take my own advice. My dad will tell me something. We just got that car out there. You know, hey, be careful. I'm like, Dad, I know to be careful.
Right.
Obviously not, because I done been in my fair share of accidents, you know, and stuff. So him constantly reminding me, hey, make sure you clean that kitchen. I went to bed last night without cleaning the kitchen. He had to remind me again, make sure you clean that kitchen.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's just then again, that's the job. So that's the job, the kitchen. Where I fall short a lot of the times is the ethic part. How do you feel about what it is that you do? I'm like, Dad, it's just the kitchen. The FBI ain't gonna break down our door because I ain't cleaning the kitchen tonight. But if you take that attitude into your music career, which I have, which I did one time, early in my career,
Regretted it, huh?
missed a flight to Houston
Yeah.
because I thought I had time. I wanted to get some more rest. I was like, it's just a show in Houston. It's just a show in Houston. That sounds like 21-year-old me.
Yeah. Well, what did you tell the people that booked you?
I was crying. I texted the band. I was like, guys, please come back and get me. Please go. I said, guys, please come. I said, man, because I was with a band.
Was it the jukebox?
First band. And stuff. I was like, guys, please come back and get me. Please, I said, guys, I told my folks, I was cocky too. I was like, yeah, I got a show in Houston. I'm finna go do this, that, and the other. What I said, guys, please come back and get me. I think they were going somewhere in Texas. And I said, guys, I told them that I was going to be in Texas, and, you know, please come back and get me. And then we had a group chat then, and they was like, well, you better tell your folks you ain't going to Houston. You know, you ain't going to be in Houston with us. You going to be in Mobile with them. You know, when you come back to get you. I was like, man, that's a lot of money. Because I said, it's just a show in Houston.
Right.
It was one of my first gigs.
It's just a tackle to make in the football field. Yeah.
It's just a tackle. No, it's not. Clean the kitchen.
Oh!
Clean the kitchen. Clean the kitchen. When God forbid, whenever he passed or whatever stuff, that's the first thing I'm going to hear. Clean the kitchen. Get that my dad about that kitchen. Everything else he kind of has mellowed out on, really mellowed out. But that kitchen, I would tell stories to my bandmates or whatever and stuff. I'd be like, yeah, man, I'll come up with music while I was over there cleaning.
Yeah,
some of my best music and albums and stuff. I come up while I'm cleaning the kitchen. You know, I even released a EP. It got taken down because of copyright or whatever. But it was called the Kitchen Tapes.
Oh, that's cool.
I turned it into the Lobby Tapes.
Yeah,
it's an album called The Lobby Tapes out on Spotify right now, whatever. So that's where that comes from. Because I be in hotel lobbies, mostly in Mobile at the Renaissance or whatever, and I'd be sitting there and I would come up with stuff.
Yeah,
me and shout out. I'm glad we hadn't finished before I shout out this producer. Shout out Adam.jpg. Shout out to Pink the producer for helping me along for me using his beats. He captures my sound like Pink the producer. He anything you hear, I guarantee you like 75% of the songs on Spotify is from his beats. I heard him on YouTube one time. I was looking for beats. Heard him on YouTube and I was like, dude, you get me. I've never met him.
Right.
Never met him. But his beats capture like what I hear in my head. My music, dude's got it. Dude's got it. Clinton Glover, excellent producer.
But like, describe what are these beats like?
Like ambient, lo-fi, jazzy
Gotcha.
type, beat. Something you can like
Put a trumpet to.
perfectly say it. The Caribbean album was more so this producer named Pap. They call him Pap Star. His name's Pap, shout out Pap Star on Instagram, Mr. Pap Star, and his girl Lakeithia and stuff. She's on my song Hey Friend on Decisions. He is a great producer. Pap is a great producer. But those three, they capture like what it is I'm trying to do, and it is awesome working with them. They get it. But yeah, man, like I can't do any of that until I clean that kitchen. Like seriously, like that kitchen, my dad is serious about that. That kitchen is gonna get me through my career. Like clean that kitchen on a consistent basis.
Similarly, my best stuff when I was like writing a lot of music back in high school and then early stages of college. Whenever I'm cutting the grass, that Zen experience of cutting the grass and going back and forth with the lawnmower and the weed eater for an hour and a half, your mind just races. And I remember just having like the same lyrics, and I would like go into cutting grass, like writing something so that when I started, I'd have those lyrics go. And by the end of the time, I'd have like a song, and I'd just like amaze myself, and I'd be like talking to myself as I was cutting the grass and worrying how if people like were seeing me talk to myself as I was, because I just replay it.
I get it.
Yeah.
That
Zen experience.
Explain that to me, man. I get that.
Yeah.
For real. I get that. That washing them dishes.
Oh yeah. There was a story my dad told me. It was I think I'm butchering it likely, but it's I think this guy, he was a big time basketball player. Want to say UNLV, and he'd gotten into drugs very badly, and he went to a soup kitchen, like the prison kind of got him in with the soup kitchen, or a rehab center got him in with the soup kitchen,
Right.
and he would do the dishes, massive. Probably not a soup kitchen. Anyway, massive pots and pans.
Right, yeah.
And he's cleaning, and that's all he did for an entire day, every day. And he got rid of his drug. It was drug therapy, basically. And it just cleaning just over and over again, just kind of cleansed his mind by like zoning into that and zenning out like that.
I imagine. I mean, not imagine, because I know what he's trying to do. It's just if I could ever get past the work, maybe I could get to the ethic part. So I'll clean that kitchen. Some days I clean it, and it's quick. It's quick.
Yeah.
Other days I'm like, and I remember he came up to me. It was like 3 a.m. and I was getting ready. I was getting ready to clean it, because sometimes I don't clean it till late because I don't feel like doing it. He said, my dad said, one day you're going to wish this is all you had to do. Was come in here, knock these dishes out, stack these pans up, clean this oven, because your life's going to get a little harder than this. Right. But if you can master this, nothing, as hard as it is to come in here and knock this kitchen out, if you can get past this, everything else, you can
smooth sound. You
can do it. You can do it. He always encourages me. You can do it.
I love that. Lastly, my best friend and I had a talk of like fate and destiny and the plans that are already set for you and all that, and we got to the conclusion that sure, like you might have like a destiny, and that like you have to follow through on it though. But ultimately you can't prioritize certain points in your destiny more than any other points. Like if you're an NFL team, winning the Super Bowl compared to winning a regular season game in order to achieve winning the Super Bowl, you have to see the regular season game as the same priority. You know, each one has to be like you go in to win, you prepare. Obviously, you're going to take more rest days, but you prepare and you train that mentality. And essentially, like, because if you see something down the line and that's all you care about, and then you're like, oh, I'm not gonna tie my shoes for the run today because it's just a jog, you know.
Right.
By the time you get to the cross country meet, if you hadn't like taken the earlier run seriously, you know that one. And it's just like the way you handle in order to reach the bigger seemingly paths spots on your trajectory, you hit the harder ones. I mean the smaller ones harder.
Maybe that's something I have to work on then and stuff, because I mean, to bring it biblically, since this is our last point, to bring it biblically, the Bible says that there should be a special love for the household of faith.
Right.
You know, I play trumpet. I also play keys. I approach my career the same way, but this is a different school of thought than playing the keys. Very different.
Oh man, yeah, that's a good point. I'm glad you touched on that, man.
Very different, because your brain when you playing keys is not your brain when you doing this. When you playing trumpet, I'll bring it to sports.
I'm really glad you brought that up.
I mean, and not to discount your point, or not to discount my dad's point, or whatever and stuff about it's just the kitchen. You know, to him it means something.
Yeah,
he comes from that background. I'm a musician. The kitchen is in my way.
Yeah,
seriously, the kitchen is in my way. I mean, that's why I come up with music over there, because I'm like, man, I can't wait to get this done. Yeah. I'm doing this out of respect to my parents.
Right.
There's a difference. They call it regular season, preseason, regular season, postseason.
Yeah.
Off season.
Michael Jordan. Yeah.
Preseason, regular season, postseason, off season. The only thing that stays the same there is the season. The career is gonna stay the same.
Right.
But like I told you, like, shout out Airport Hippie. He was like, man, I'm saying, just that. Even he said, well, I'm gonna dress a different way, but I'm still Airport Hippie. I'm still him. That's great. That's why I don't get this generation about, oh, we're not gonna label, we're not gonna, label. I said, well, hey, you don't label nothing. You wanna know what nothing is?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I get the whole, so there are some basic things you have to do, but I get the attitude shift. There's basketball, then there's playoff basketball.
Right.
There's football, then there's playoff football. There's college football season, then there's college bowl season, then there's championship season.
Right.
You're not a championship team unless you've won a championship.
Right.
You're not a playoff team yet unless you've been to the playoffs. That's why they say that. Oh, they don't have the makings of a playoff team yet. You ain't no playoff team.
Right. You're not a wharf performer.
No, you're not a wharf performer unless you done performed at the wharf. You're not a wharf performer.
Yeah.
So, but what can't change is the ethic. How do you feel about what it is that you do? Yeah. Do you want to make the playoffs? Well, guess what you got to do? You got to do what playoff teams do. Very last point. I'm say this. I was outside. I was playing, and it was like my second week outside. I was busking. When I first started busking, when I came back to Mobile, I didn't use tracks. None of that. I didn't use none of that. I remember I was outside, and I was playing. I finally got I'd been playing for a minute now. I was playing outside, and nobody. When I say nobody, there was nobody outside. Nobody. You playing? It seemed like Mobile was a desert. Nobody was outside. I said, all right. Dude, I played from 6 to 9 at 8:55. I remember these black ladies came in. Like, it was about 8, 9, maybe 10 of them. A group of black ladies came in to dumbwaiter. Dumbwaiter having getting no business like that. But they came in. They came in, they celebrating her birthday. And I said, I think I maybe made $2. It was $2 I put in there. Like, so,
Right. Just prop money.
yeah, dude, it was bleak. 8:55. So I'm going to use the bathroom. I break down. I go inside to use the bathroom. As I'm coming out, they asked me, they said, you sounded really good. I said, thank you, whatever and stuff, so. Because nobody was outside, but I was still playing my list. I was still trying to hit every note.
Damn.
And I was still, because at the time, at that point, it's rehearsal at that time. So now you playing for you. Now you need to see what you need to work on.
Ethic.
Yeah. How do I feel about it? Attitude. I come out and they said, it's our homegirl's birthday. Will you play Happy Birthday for her? Well, her friends wanted to hear Isn't She Lovely by Stevie Wonder. The homegirl wanted to just hear Happy Birthday. So I said, well, I know both. So I started playing a cappella, Isn't She Lovely?
Oh, that's cool.
And what I saw was the birthday girl. She was like this. So as I'm playing that, so I said,
That's crazy.
And they started going crazy. And they're like,
I said, "Ooh-cha!"
oh my goodness, he was so amazing, whatever. And off that one table, I made $75.
That's clutch. That's like Michael Jordan.
Last shot. But my attitude, if I had just said, they're black, they're not going to tip me.
Never had that.
But I had to, I had to get that way of thinking. Again, I was thinking, Doc told me this. He said, you have to switch your mindset. Love old cats, man. He said, we are not street musicians. That's regular season. We're not street musicians. We are musicians who just happen to play on the street. That's how you have to carry yourself.
Yeah.
And it's worked for me. The guys that done where they say, man, we'll never see you no more. I said, well, I'm getting gigs now. Getting weddings now. That's the idea. You play on the street to get the work.
Right.
If the street's lucrative, yeah.
Damn, dude, that's a great way to put it, man. Yeah. In any field, any field.
If you want to make the playoffs, you got to do what playoff teams do.
In the regular season.
If you just want a regular season team, that's fine. Everybody got to rebuild. But, I look at the Cleveland Browns. I mean, nothing against the Cleveland Browns, but you go two seasons without winning. I just could not. I was like, bro, I had to punch somebody, trip somebody up, do something. I had to kick a late field goal, something like that. We going for it on 4th and 50. Yeah. Like something.
Yeah.
I think like that while I'm at practice. The value of practice, man. I've learned that.
Yeah.
The value of whether it's with a band or by myself, practicing like somebody. You got to practice like when you get out on the street. It's going to be $100 night. It may not be. Realistically, it may not be. But if you get out there and hit every note, people can't. They can't deny. They can't. Man, Doc told me the same thing. Shout out to Kent Murdock, who teaches South Alabama in Spring Hill. Kent Murdock, banjo player. Awesome dude. Gives me all bunch of stuff. He said people tip the tone. That's what they tip, the tone. So at home I work on my tone.
Yeah.
That's what they're tipping.
Yeah.
All right, well, people don't listen to smooth jazz. Okay, but you know what sounds good.
You know it sounds good.
You know what sounds good.
Do you ever get mad when somebody listens to a full set and doesn't tip?
No.
Why?
No. I get upset when people display their ignorance. You may not like what I'm playing, but you don't have to belittle me. I mean, we live in America. It's the First Amendment. You can say whatever you want, but you don't have to belittle me.
Right.
I had a girl tell me one time, I won't name her, I remember clear as day. Why won't you play songs people know? Well, this particular artist on Spotify has 140,000 monthly listeners. So you don't know her.
Right.
But the songs I'm playing,
Yeah.
140K at least monthly know
Right.
who she is. So
That's just a flaw of
so
society.
you can't. So
Yeah.
how about you want me to play songs? Just say you want me to play songs that you know.
Right.
To which you can say, "Do you take requests?"
Right.
To which I can answer, "Yes." To which you reply, "Okay, do you know this?"
And then you reply,
And I reply,
for $25.
"For 20, yeah, for 20, there you go, for $25."
And now we're on the same page.
For real, I had somebody, I had somebody, I think it was I forget who said it, one of the owners downtown. He said, "Hey man, if another gig comes up and you can't take my gig, it's fine, man." He said, "We're all coin operated."
Yeah.
So, we're all coin. I was like, absolutely. So the ignorance, which I guess I shouldn't get mad at, but with musicians it irks. It irks musicians especially. It costs $0 to be nice, but it also costs $0 to just walk on by.
Yeah.
If you don't know what I'm playing, that's fine.
Yeah.
But I will say this: I'm a smooth jazz artist.
Yeah.
So 8 times out of 10, it's either gonna be, if it is pop, it's pop that I'm comfortable playing.
Yeah.
And
it probably sounds like something that you never heard, but
right,
you heard. Yeah.
Right. And I'm gonna play it competently. I play some pop stuff, of course, whatever. But most of what I play, like in Pensacola Friday, it's all gonna be jazz.
Yeah.
Dude, I love Pensacola. Pensacola gets it. Mobile at night gets it. Fairhope, love it. Fairhope's a little bit on the old side because it's like retirees there. So I mostly, but smooth jazz, they get it.
Yeah.
They get it, bro. They just do. Fairhope, Mobile, Pensacola, Ocean Springs. Used to be New Orleans. I don't get too much work in New Orleans anymore. Not no more and stuff. But unless I'm playing Dixieland, even the scene down there has changed so much.
Yeah.
Nothing against New Orleans, but it's just it's changed. The scene has changed. Since the pandemic, I don't know what caused the change, but it has changed, So, but yeah, man, they get it, Fairhope, Mobile, Pensacola. If I'm in those cities once a month,
Yeah.
at least, and stuff. So, and then any other thing you see, I post all my tours on Facebook. Everything's on all platforms. Everything's on all my tours. If you want to know where I'm playing, all my tours are posted.
Oh yeah.
And stuff. They may change. I'll put it on my Facebook. I'll put it on my story if they change. But other than that, dude, wherever you see, that's where I'm gonna be at.
Guys, thank you for tuning in to another episode. Catch Sound Barrier, the Around the World tour. Where are we at tomorrow?
Another World. Another World's name. Another World tour.
And where are we at tomorrow?
We are at Pensacola, Florida tomorrow. We're at Ruby Slipper tomorrow from 9 a.m. to noon. And then we're at Restaurant Iron from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. You can't miss them. They're both on Palafox Street.
Palafox.
That's where everything's happening tomorrow. Palafox Street.
Thank you so much, brother.
Yes, sir, man. Thank you, man.
Welcome to the Gulf Coast. Welcome to the Gulf Coast. Welcome to the Gulf Coast.